Just moments ago, President Obama finished a post-election news conference less than 24 hours after Republicans regained control of the House. The president acknowledged that he had, in his words, taken a shellacking, and he took responsibility for the fact that voters haven't felt the progress he promised. Take a listen.
There's no doubt that people's number one concern is the economy. And what they were expressing great frustration about is the fact that we haven't made enough progress on the economy. We've stabilized the economy. We've got job growth in the private sectors, but people all across America aren't feeling that progress. They don't see it. And they understand that I'm the President of the United States and that my core responsibility is making sure that we've got an economy that's growing, a middle class that feels secure, that jobs are being created. And so I think I've got to take direct responsibility for the fact that we have not made as much progress as we need to make.
President takes responsibility. My colleague Chip Reid, our chief White House correspondent, I get confused which one of us is which.
What's the difference?
Joins me now from the White House. Chip, what happened? Do we have a president who's in touch, out of touch? What changed today in that news conference?
Not a lot, Bill. I didn't think a whole lot changed. I think if anybody was looking for a Clinton-esque course correction, it did not happen. The president still believes it's the state of the economy, which he blames on the previous administration. That's the reason people are so angry and frustrated. It's not health care reform or spending. And he talked about compromise and suggested certain areas, and he confirmed what aides had already told us, that certainly he's going to have to negotiate on the extension of the Bush tax cuts to get something passed. And he talked about compromise in other areas, but usually kind of around the edges and the corners. He did not talk about any fundamental course change here, and I think he still believes that for the most part he's on the right track, and what's hurting him and Democrats politically is the economy, and that's not his fault for the most part.
Well, he was asked a question by Matt Spitalnik about his style, and what did you think of his response with that?
Well, I think he does understand that he can come across as a bit insular, and he said he needs to get out of that White House more often. And, he's not a White House kind of guy. He's really somebody who wants to be out and doing things, which, as you know, is why he gets out and golfs so much. It's not because he loves golf. It's because it gets him out of the container, as he calls it. So he does understand there's an issue here with his style, and he made that clear.
Chip, I guess if there was any news, one of the news bites would be the president seemed to leave the door open to dropping his insistence that the people who make over $250,000 not receive an extension of the Bush tax cut. Let's listen to that bite and get your reaction.
This is going to be one of my top priorities, and my hope is that given we all have an interest in growing the economy and encouraging job growth, that we're not going to play brinksmanship, but instead we're going to act responsibly.
Negotiate.
Absolutely.
So you think that was an open door?
Absolutely, but I think that the White House staff had pretty much made clear that they were probably going to have no choice but to it would be required to negotiate on that eventually, but now it's official from the president, and I think it's pretty clear you are going to see some kind of compromise, maybe a different wage level, $1 million, something like that, or maybe it'll be extended for everyone for a year or two. But I think there is going to be some kind of compromise on the taxes. But aside from that, there was not a lot of specific compromise that he talked about, except on relatively minor issues like those 1099 forms that small business people are so upset about having to fill out so many of them under current law. But, I didn't get the sense of any major changes here. I think the president believes that when the economy recovers, as he said, if the unemployment rate were 5% or 6% instead of 9.6%, they wouldn't have taken this shellacking.